Hey everyone, this is Stephen Strawn at Cast Iron Cookware, where you can find information to help you better collect, restore, and use cast iron cookware. Today we're going to talk about the different kinds of handles that you'll find on cast iron cookware, and we're going to be doing that coming right up. Before we get started, I just want to say thank you to everyone that has purchased my product, Easy Beezy Cast Iron Seasoning. The purchase of this product helps keep this channel going, and I just want to say thank you so very much. So let's get on into the video. Traditionally, cast iron cookware is known for having a cast iron handle. It's pretty much the whole thing is cast. Now when you're handling cast iron cookware, you know it's going to get really hot and you may get burned. And if you've had cast iron cookware very long, you have burned yourself. It's going to happen. It's just a matter of time. You just want to make sure it's not too bad. But I have a few pieces here besides this original style cast iron pan. And this is a cast iron handle. This is one of my favorite little pieces. It's a number 4 Birmingham stove and range Red Mountain skillet. And I really like it. And you can tell by the little ridge in the back of the handle. The teardrop shaped hanger hole. Red Mountain's got the big pour spouts. Of course, there are some smaller pour spouts in Red Mountain, but this is one of the larger ones. And we have this beautiful little number 4 right here. This is one of the hardest Birmingham stove and range pieces to find. And it's got a glass slick finish. But this is pretty much standard when it comes to cast iron. Of course, it's a little bit small. You can have all different sizes, all the way from 3 up to 14, and even the big hotel skillets, which are like number 20s. We also have different kinds of handles. Now I have a Birmingham stove and range Lady Best, and I got the smaller piece out here. And this has a wooden handle, which makes it really nice to not worry about burning your hands. And I think for a little while they come out with a white handle called the Conbrio. Occasionally you'll see the Conbrio handles, and they're kind of on the rare side. This is a really handy thing because you don't burn your hand. The downside is you cannot put it in your oven without eventually damaging the wood handle. The upside with a piece that is 100% cast iron is you can put it in the oven, on the stovetop, over an open fire to cook, and you're not going to have any problems with the handle burning or melting. I've had a lot of people say, how do you restore a piece? Do you put the whole thing in the lye tank? Well, the lye may do some damage on this finish. Usually when I restore a piece like this, I will remove the handle. And this particular piece here is pretty simple. Most all of them will screw off. This is a long screw right here on this Lady Best. All the Lady Bests are like this, at least the ones with handles. And that's pretty much it. We have this long eye bolt with the handle with a hole down the middle. And one good thing about the Lady Best, I don't know if you can see it right here, but there's a little bitty hole and there's a pin sticking out right here. And what that does, that hole will line up on that pin, so when you tighten this down, and you just have to snug it good, you don't have any spinning. It keeps it from spinning. So always when you restore a piece of cast iron, especially if it has wood handles on it, remove the handles. And most of the time they will just unscrew and it's not a problem. Now here's one. Now it's a GSW and it's made in Canada. Of course it's got made in Canada written on it, so it's pretty easy to figure that one out. But it also has a wooden handle. Now this unscrews pretty much the same way. And pretty much, instead of an eye bolt, it has a long screw. And it will remove the same way. So if you're going to strip a piece like this, go ahead and remove the wooden handle. And here we have a screw with a little pin on the end of it. It works the same way as the Lady Best, except for this one doesn't have any pins in it. Now there are a couple of holes here. There probably were pins in it to begin with to keep it from spinning. Now this won't always line up. I mean, you can work it out and make it work out to where it does line up. You just have to back off on the threads, and because it's threaded on both ends, to get that worked out. But I'm not really worried about it. As long as I can hang it on the wall, I'm okay with it. So that's not too awfully crooked. This piece here has got a nice comfortable handle that you don't burn yourself on. But then again, you don't want to ruin this beautiful finish on this handle. You want to keep it as true to the original condition of the piece, because it is a collectible piece. Now I have another piece. Now this is a Finex. I just received this one in the mail. This is a Finex iron grillet. It's a pretty nice little pan and very, very heavy. And right here we have this nice little coiled handle. And I'm telling you, it's designed to be like a heat sink, so the heat won't just run up the handle and burn your hand. But I will tell you this about these Finex pieces, that little brass pin on the end, they will eventually get hot. So you'll need to use some kind of pot holder or protection after a while, but don't just reach in and grab it. Now I use these right here a lot. Now this one here is in really bad shape because I use it a good bit. Now it works great for handles that are too big, but if you got a smaller handle like this little Birmingham, you can use one of these little Lodge pieces. There's other companies that make these. I don't particularly like these that are made out of this kind of material. One is because it gets slippery and you can't really keep your pan from spinning. I kind of like these that are made out of cloth, where you don't have to worry about it spinning, or some are even made out of leather, which are really nice. There's another handle that I want to talk about, and that is the bell on the Dutch oven. Now people call it the wire, the thing that you hold it with, but this is called a bell. And whenever you're seasoning cast iron with these, I usually season it with these on. I don't take them off because I don't want to bend them up or mess up their shape. I will just work around and I'll wipe my seasoning in and work it back and forth until I get everything covered, get all the excess wiped off. And I will season it with the bell intact. I just don't like the idea of taking those off because they kind of look bad afterwards. Now with this Finex, now if you try to season this whole pan, this will actually season too and get darker. But I can season it with this intact. Now this can come off, but it has a little bit of complications. You'll have to push that pin out to get this off. Now you can, I probably wouldn't do it, but it's doable. It's not too bad. On the other hand, I have this Griswold waffle maker. Let me get one of the paddles. And I went ahead and seasoned this whole thing, even though it would normally be shiny. Now it's not pressed on by any pins. It's just on there by compression. Now you could probably screw this thing off, but you'd have a time getting it back on. So me personally, with these like this, I usually just season the whole thing. I'll go ahead and strip the whole thing in lye or electrolysis and then just season the whole thing back. Because eventually it's going to get seasoning on it, and that nice shiny chrome is probably going to get covered up. So I just avoid that altogether. And they season up pretty nice and they look pretty good. Just be careful. If you have to work hard to take something off, chances are you're going to have to work twice as hard putting it back on. It's a little short video and I hope that you got something out of it. And if you have, please don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell, and I promise I'll keep more of them coming. I will leave a link to our social media sites and also a link to some of these different types of pot holders in the video description. And I just want to say thank you again for watching Cast Iron Cookware. Before you go, I just want to share something with you really quickly. In 2 Chronicles chapter 7, verse 14, It says, if my people, which are called by my name, shall humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then will I hear from heaven and forgive their sin and will heal their land. I just want to say, share the word and be a blessing.